Lena, wait, you have to know.
Olga, what kind of talk can there be? I have a ceremony in an hour. Elena once again adjusted her veil, trying to achieve a perfect style.
That's exactly why you need to know. Now, before it's too late.
There was something in her friend's voice that made her squeeze inside. Elena had known Olga for 15 years, since university, and she had never heard such a tone from her. Elena froze in front of the mirror. The white dress, the very one they had chosen for 3 months, having traveled, it seemed, all the wedding salons of the city, the veil embroidered with pearls, just like a princess, admired her mother. A bouquet of soft pink peonies. Artyom himself insisted on such flowers, remembering how she once said that they were her favorite flowers. It was like a fairy tale. She had imagined this moment so many times, and now it had come. But why was Olga's face like that? Okay, Elena sighed, sitting down on the banquette by the dressing table. What happened?
Artem.
Olga hesitated for a second, as if gathering her strength.
He has a child.
Silence, so deafening that it was ringing in my ears. Or was it the clinking of glasses behind the wall, where the guests were already gathering for the wedding? Where her perfect fiancé was probably just accepting congratulations and smiling his signature smile, the same smile she'd fallen in love with 2 years ago. What the hell is this? Elena laughed nervously, but the laughter came out in a broken sort of way. Where did you?
From Marina. Remember, she works at the same bank, in the neighboring department.
Olga sat down next to her, took her friend's hand.
She overheard him talking on the phone. He was arranging a meeting with his ex-wife and son. Something about alimony and summer camp.
Ex-wife? Elena jumped up, almost knocking over the makeup table. What are you talking about? She sank back onto the banquette. Her legs wouldn't hold up. Her mind was spinning like a broken record. It's not true. It can't be true. Artyom wouldn't. He's not like that. But the worm of doubt was already gnawing at her soul. 2 years of relationship. 2 years of complete, absolute trust. Artyom seemed so right. A successful banker, at 35 already the head of a department. A caring fiancé. Flowers every week, surprises, dates. An honest and open person. He always said that trust was the most important thing in a relationship. Or did he? Suddenly the oddities came to mind. The very ones she turned a blind eye to. Writing off to busyness, fatigue, work problems. Calls that he went to the other room to answer. The business trips from which he didn't bring back any photos. Sundays when he was working from home but answering calls with a delay. Wait! Elena jumped up again, almost tangling herself in the hem of her dress. I'll be right there. She ran out into the hallway where she'd left her purse. Where's the damn phone? Both phones, her own and Artem's, she had put in her bag for the duration of the ceremony. Oh, here it is. Her fingers shook as she opened the contact list. Recently, Artem had forgotten to unlock his phone when he asked to see something. Then she accidentally saw the name Katya in her favorite contacts. Asked. He said it was a colleague from the accounting department. God, let it not be true. Let it just be a mistake. The dial tone seemed like an eternity.
Hello?
A woman's voice. Hello, is this Katya?
Yes, who are you?
Me? Elena swallowed the lump in her throat. I'm Artyom's fiancé, Artyom Viktorovich. A pause. So long that for a second it seemed like the connection was broken.
Oh, so today is the wedding? Congratulations. I hope you know what you're getting into.
What are you talking about?
That your fiancé is a coward, hiding his son for 5 years, didn't even tell the boy that he's getting a new mom. Although maybe it was for the best. Why traumatize the child if he sees his father once a month anyway, and even then for an hour?
Elena dropped the phone. That's it. The world had collapsed. Music was blaring in the next room. The guests were gathering. The groom was waiting, and she sat on the floor in a $100,000 wedding dress and couldn't believe it. She didn't want to believe it. The voice of that woman, Katya, was still in her ears. His ex-wife, the mother of his child. Artyom has a son, a boy who doesn't know his father is getting married today, who sees his father once a month and then only by the hour. I suddenly remembered their conversation 6 months ago. Tom, do you want children? Of course, sunshine. He smiled so sincerely then. But let's not be in a hurry. Let's have a wedding first, then a honeymoon, then we'll see. We'll see. And he was already a father.
Lenochka, are you ready? Everyone's already here. Daughter, what's wrong with you?
Elena raised a crying face. Mom, Artyom has a child and an ex-wife. He hasn't said a word this whole time.
Oh, what do we do now?
I don't know. Elena snuggled into her mom's shoulder like when she was a child. I really don't know.
Maybe close your eyes? He loves you, he cares for you. And you're not a little girl. 32 years old, it's time to start a family.
Close your eyes? To what? At the lies? On betrayal? The fact that somewhere there is a child growing up that his father is ashamed of?
Olya, stay out of it. It's their business. And anyway, it's not like anyone has a past.
No, not them. Len, look at me. Are you really ready to live with a man who started your relationship with deceit? Who didn't trust you enough to hide the existence of his own child?
What would you do? How would you know what to do? I have there. She waved her hand toward the door. There are 150 guests. The restaurant is paid for. My whole life is decided there. She jumped up, ran around the room. What if Marina is wrong? If this Katya is lying? It's true. Artem stood in the doorway, pale, confused. Not at all like the confident, handsome man everyone was used to seeing. Lena, I'll explain everything. Explain what? She turned to him and he involuntarily retreated under her gaze. What can you explain? I was afraid of losing you. He stepped into the room. I thought if I told you about Mishka, about the divorce, you'd leave. And now? Elena asked quietly. Now, do you think I won't leave? Footsteps and voices were heard in the corridor. Someone was looking for the bride. The ceremony was about to begin. Lena! There was a knock at the door. It's time. She stood up. She straightened her dress, wiped her tears. Let's go. Where to? Artem was confused. To the ceremony, she smiled strangely. That's what you wanted, right? The hall was full of guests. Elena walked down the aisle with her father, hearing the invitees whispering,
"What a beautiful bride."
And the dress, the dress.
She and Artyom are such a perfect couple. Perfect couple. Those words made me feel nauseous. Artyom was waiting at the altar, handsome in an impeccable suit, with the most charming of his smiles. Only his eyes gave him away, hunted, pleading. Don't do it, his gaze said. Elena walked toward him, feeling her legs go numb. Each step was difficult, as if the dress weighed a ton. Thoughts swirled in her head. Maybe Mom is right. Maybe I should close my eyes. She loves me, and I love her. Somewhere in the back rows sat Olga. She could feel her gaze on her back. The priest began the ceremony. Elena stood with her eyes down, couldn't look at the groom, at the guests, at the parents.
Are you, Elena Alexandrovna, ready to take Artyom Viktorovich as your lawful husband? To love him and be faithful to him for better and for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do you part.
And how to live on? How to trust a man who started everything with deceit? How do I look into the eyes of his son, if I ever see the boy? What to say when he asks why Daddy hid his existence?
No.
The quiet word sounded like a gunshot.
What? No, Elena repeated louder. There will be no wedding.
The guests murmured. Someone gasped. Someone began to whisper. The mom in the front row clutched at her heart.
Lena, what are you doing?
Artyom grabbed her arm.
Are you crazy? All our people are here.
All ours? She gently released her hand. No, Artyom, not everyone is here. Your son is not here. A surprised sigh spread through the hall.
It's not that you have a child. It's that you didn't trust me enough to hide the most important thing.
She turned to the guests.
I'm sorry. There will be no wedding.
And walked toward the exit. 6 months later, winter morning, a cozy cafe on the corner of Sadovaya Street. The smell of fresh pastries and cinnamon. Elena sat by the window with Olga. They drank coffee, chatted, just like in the good old days.
You know, Elena said thoughtfully, stirring the sugar. Sometimes I think, what if you had kept silent then? Do you regret it?
Olga tensed.
No, she shook her head. On the contrary, grateful. You helped me not to make a mistake, even though I almost hated you for that truth. Did Artyom call? Every week. For the first month, flowers, gifts, begging for forgiveness. You know what's interesting?
Elena put the cup down.
When he finally admitted that right after our failed wedding, he told his son the truth. Do you know what the boy said? What? Daddy, why didn't you want to talk about me?
Elena ran her finger over the fogged glass.
Can you imagine the trauma he inflicted on his own child? The boy thought there was something wrong with him since his father was hiding his existence. And now? They see each other every weekend. Artyom has finally started to be a real father. Can you imagine? He even goes to parent-teacher conferences. She grinned sadly. It's funny, isn't it? It took such a scandal to make him realize his responsibility. What about you?
I realized one important thing, Elena smiled. True love can't start with deception. And if a man is willing to hide such important things, what else can he hide? She took a sip of the cooled coffee.
You know what the funny thing is? I would have accepted his son. I really would. If he had told me right away. We could have been a family. A real, big, happy family. And now? Now what?
Now I'm learning to trust. Myself first. My intuition, my feelings, She hesitated. Remember that architect from Mom's anniversary party?
The one who just got divorced?
Yeah, he said right off the bat that he had 2 kids. And that they were the most important thing in his life. No secrets, no hush-hush.
Elena's blushing.
We've been dating for a month.
How's it going?
Scary, she admitted honestly. But it's the right thing to do, when everything is honest from the beginning. Olga squeezed her friend's hand.
I understand. You deserve just such love.
And snow was falling outside the window. Pure, sincere, without a single secret. Just as true love should be. And somewhere across town, the ex-fiancé was learning to be a good father. Late, but better late than never.